Hey, you know what?
Okay, fellas, next up on the stage, we have Jacksonville High School. Jacksonville competes in 4A Region 6. The region opponents are Anniston, Asheville, Center, Hoax Bluff, Oneonta, and White Plains. Representing Jacksonville High School today are head football coach Clint Smith, and he has brought a senior quarterback, Luke Jackson, and senior linebacker, Sam Ding. Coach Smith, we'll begin with your opening comments.
All right. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for having us today. We're excited to be here to promote our program and then let you know a little bit about going into this season. I think we've had a good summer. I think our kids have worked really hard. Our coaches have worked extremely hard to prepare us for the upcoming season. I think looking at our program this year, our program is very healthy. We have 23 seniors coming up this year. Along with those 23 seniors, we also have 20 freshmen that are moving up, and the juniors and sophomore classes have good numbers as well. So as a whole, I feel like our program is very healthy with the numbers and what we've got coming up. Looking at this year, it's kind of the complete opposite from last year as far as going into the season. Last year coming in, we were very experienced on the offensive and defensive lines. Had a lot of guys that had played a lot of football and got a lot of snaps in, and so that was really kind of the backbone headed in. We had a lot of skill guys that were coming into starting roles for the first time, and we were just kind of waiting on them to take the field and to get better as the year went on, and they did a great job of that. This year, our strength and our experience is with our skill guys, as we have most of our skill guys back from last year at those skill positions, and now we're going to have to replace some linemen on both sides of the ball this year. So we'll be looking to our skill guys for leadership, especially early on, until we can get in a rhythm with those guys up front. This year we have 6 returning starters on offense, and we have 8 returning starters on defense. I feel like last year we took another step forward for our program. Each year we want to move forward. We want to try to get better and better each year, and I think we did that last year. We finished 10-0. We won a region championship, which was only the second region championship in school history. We graduated the winningest senior class in school history. We scored the most points in school history, and last year's team was very special, and they have a lot to look back on. But that was then, this is now. We have to understand that what we did last year doesn't matter at all moving into this year, and we have to continue to work hard to get better and better and move into this season. We've got great community support. We've got a great following, and it's just things are really good at Jacksonville High School.
Joe, if you would start us.
For Ron, another year to grow, bulk up. Just what does Ron look like now coming into the season compared to this time last year?
Yeah, I think all of our guys have really gotten bigger and stronger and faster, which is the goal during the summertime. Ron's gotten bigger. I think he's gotten faster, better. He went to some camps this year, and he's done a good job. So he has gotten bigger, and like I said, I think we've all gotten bigger and stronger at all our positions. So that should be well going into next year.
Jim, you got a question?
Yeah, Coach, talk a little bit about the region and the toughness of the schedule and what it's going to take to get back to November.
Well, our region is very tough, 4A Region 6, and there's a lot of schools in our region that have a lot of tradition, that are used to winning, used to making deep playoff runs. I think looking at our region this year, it's kind of wide open really. I know we've got Hoax Bluff, who's got several key guys coming back, Oneonta as well, and we've got a lot of new coaches in our region this year with Cherokee County and White Plains and Cleveland County. So I know those guys will bring in a lot of energy to their programs, and I think it's wide open for the most part. So who takes it?
Al, you got a question?
Yeah, just briefly. Luke, last year it was kind of I don't wanna say easier, because you had the veteran line in front of you. This year, it's flipped where they're gonna be younger guys. Have you done anything in your game to maybe offset the inexperience that might be up front blocking for you? Some things that you've either had to learn to do during the spring because they're young guys, or things just in your head, so I'm gonna have to do this now.
Well, no, not really, because they're still seniors and they're getting bigger and stronger, and they just work, and we work in the summer a lot harder because they're not have a lot of experience. So you just gotta work a little harder, and then gotta learn the plays and their blocks, and yeah.
I think one good thing is with Luke and Ron and our skill guys is our ability to kind of move it around a little bit and kind of try to find what's working. Our offensive line this year, even though they're going to be new, it's probably the biggest offensive line that I've ever had. As we'll probably average close to 300 pounds across the front. So that if those guys will come on, they have potential to do really well. They just don't have the snaps in right now to do that. And I know that they'll be ready, especially as the year goes on. They'll get better and better. And our skill guys will have to lead them that way.
And I know after the spring game that you played, we asked you about that, and you thought they handled themselves pretty well. Now, I don't know if that's coach is trying to pump up them emotionally by saying nice things about them, or if they really did come along better than maybe you thought.
They did. All 5 guys started their first snap, and so not only do they have to get into it on their own, they have to learn to gel and to mesh as a group, which your offensive lineman has to play together and depend on each other. So, our coaches have done a great job with them, and I know that they'll be ready and give us the best shot that we can have.
Sam, there were some guys up front in front of you last year that are gone now too. Just talk about the guys that are coming up behind them and who looks good there.
I think they all look pretty good. We just need to work a little bit, with an experience that they don't have, because it's a little bit different moving from, say, your B team to varsity starting, and we just got to be encouraging and help them where we see problems. Like me and LJ, say somebody's lined up in the wrong place or running the wrong play, just be real encouraging and help them get where they need to go.
Front row.
This is for Luke, with such an outstanding running back. Do you ever feel at times that you were overlooked as a passer because you were very accurate in your throws and your leadership? Do you ever feel like you're playing with a bit of a chip on your shoulder, that you were being overlooked?
No, sir, I didn't, because as a team we're still winning, and that's all that really matters is just the team winning and just keep winning. And we also have a good wide receiver core too.
And that's the thing, LJ, he almost passed for 2,000 yards last year, and so he did a really good job of making plays for us as well. And so I think as a group, that's what we've got to get to where you go in there and you win those games. You don't care who gets the credit and who does what. That's the sign of the type team that you want to have, and as long as we do that, we have a chance to be successful.
If I could just follow up with Sam real quick. Your defense, you were so aggressive across the front. How fun was it to play last year?
It was real fun on defense. We always get out there and have a real good time. Say somebody makes a real good play, we'd all get fired up and ready to go to the next play. I think we're going to have a good defense this year. From the spring game, it looked the same, and front's a little bit different, but we've still got that fire in there, and that's what we need to do.
I think from the standpoint of consistency, these guys are, we as a staff, we've been there a while. So these guys have been running this defense for years. They've never done anything else. So it becomes easier and easier for you to be able to use terminology and things like that, and things get fixed a lot quicker because they understand what you're talking about. So I think consistency within our coaching staff and what we do schematically, our kids pick up on it a lot faster because that's what they're used to, even at younger grades all the way through. And it's made a lot of things easier.
Joe?
What do you expect of Ron this year relative to what you saw coming this time last year? And there's obviously a lot more attention around him now coming into this year, and how much is managing that a concern?
What was the first part?
What do you expect of him this year compared to what he did, what you were thinking this time last year?
As far as Ron?
Yes.
Well, I think people knew who he was last year, but anytime you have a season like he had, people watch film and they understand what he brings to the table. But like we've said, we feel good about all of our skill and having the opportunity to where if somebody just sells out to make sure that he doesn't get anything, that we have other options and we can move the ball in other ways. And so I expect him to come in and work hard like he does, and we've talked about it. It is going to be a little bit of a challenge, especially early, not having those experienced guys up front. So those big runs that he was having early, it may take a little bit longer to get those, and he understands that. And that's the thing. If he's got to get 3-4 yards and then get up and do it again, he's got to understand he does that. But he'll be fine, and he'll be ready to go.
Next question, Jim.
Yeah, Coach, talk a little bit about the expectation level for this year versus where you guys finished last year. Best year in school history, but you kind of ended up a little earlier than you probably hoped to. Can you sense, and I mean all of you can address this, is the hunger level there to get you further along this year?
Well, we have the same expectations every year as to what we want to accomplish, and last year we had a special season, as we've talked about, and I really feel like there's only one team in the state that it ends the way they want to. Everybody wants to go further. That's not going to change. We want to win region championships, and we want to have a chance to compete for a state championship. That's not going to change. I think this year, anytime you look over a season, and I was so proud of our guys last year because there were so many games where we fought through adversity. One game that stands out to me is Aniana. We were down 21-8 at the half, and we came back second half, held them scoreless, and scored and went for 2 and won it 22-21. Going into Hoax Bluff, it's such a hostile place to go in and play, and winning a region championship. I really feel like we took a lot of steps in preparing us to hopefully make those deep playoff runs that everybody wants to make. We don't define our season by one game. We understand that games aren't played on paper. You have to go out and you have to play well, and you get into playoffs, matchups start occurring, and things like that. But we're going to look, and we've looked at what we do well and what we don't do well or didn't do well, and we're going to try to improve on that. And we do that every year. But expectations are the same. We had the highest ranking that we've ever had last year at number 2, in which rankings, really don't mean a whole lot because a lot of times you're getting ranked by people that hadn't even seen you play. But the one thing that it does do, in my opinion, is it shows a statewide respect for your program. And I think that, the past couple of years, starting the season in the top 10 is showing respect for our program and where we've been and where we're going and what we're trying to do. So, I'm proud of these guys for that. And our goal is to compete and win a state championship every year. And hopefully we can do that, and we can go further this year.
Any other questions? Coach Smith, thank you for your time. Thank you guys for being here.